Hey there. If you're a peri or postmenopausal woman, you might be just struggling with some annoying or maybe even hugely disruptive symptoms, and you're undecided about whether or not to go on hormone replacement therapy, or as they call it, HRT. Each woman needs to consider the pros and cons given their own health and family history, but in today's video, I'm going to share why I decided to go on estrogen replacement. So, you may be suffering from the typical symptoms of menopause, which can be heat from your very core that can't be relieved, insomnia, brain fog, mood changes and lack of patience, dryness of your skin, among other things. So, yeah, not fun. So, I had a hysterectomy back in 2018. I'd been suffering from different symptoms, even a little bit before that, but mainly at night. Mostly hot flashes, mainly at night, disrupting my sleep. I was trying to stay off estrogen because because of the bad reputation that it had. My mom was on it when she was going through menopause. Was on it for many years, and then she went off of it because of that big study that came out in the early 2000s that just, talked about how horrible hormone replacement was. So I thought, well, I believe that losing estrogen was just part of aging, and, why should we have to supplement it if it's just natural? If this is just part of life, then I shouldn't have to do anything to supplement it. So that's kind of the mindset that I had, and I was trying to avoid it if I could. Also, I'm sure that you've heard the risks of hormone replacement, heart disease and stroke and blood clots, and then the big one, breast cancer. So all of those were reasons that I was trying to stay away from it as well. But then I came across this retired OBGYN. Her name is Barbara Taylor. And if you're interested, she has like a whole series of videos about menopause. And she doesn't try to sway you one way or the other as far as what you should do. She just presents the information, wants you to be informed, and then you can decide what you want to do with that information and what best works for you. And she calls it Menopause Your Way for that reason. So she started discussing some of the health benefits of estrogens, aside from just helping with the hot flashes and all of the menopausal symptoms. And in one of her videos, she recommended this book, The Estrogen Window by, how do you pronounce it? It's pronounced Maish Seibel. And so she started talking about how you can get other health benefits from estrogen if you take it at the right time. So this Maish Seibel, he's, according to the write-up or this description on Amazon, he's a leading expert on women's wellness and menopause, and he's a faculty member at Harvard. Okay, so supposedly he's has the background for this. I have not read the entire book. I've read about half of it, and just kind of bouncing around in it more like a manual for the information that I want. But some of the things that he has talked about is, and you may have heard that the estrogen helps with your bone health. So as we age, our bones become weaker. We're more susceptible to bone breakages and things like that. And so estrogen protects against osteoporosis. Also, it does have heart protection benefits, which this was all very confusing to me because a lot of this is just the opposite of what I had been hearing over the past 10 to 15 years about estrogen. So the key being is this estrogen window that he talks about, and I'll get to that in a few minutes. And then this was the big one, is its benefits for brain health, that it can really help our brain as we age. And I just wanted to give you guys a couple of quotes from the book that I thought were pretty powerful, pretty interesting. The first one was the natural loss of brain volume combined with not being treated with hormone therapy seems to be one of the major contributors to Alzheimer's disease, which is more common in women than men. And that was on page 106. And then the other one was the strength of research showing estrogen is beneficial in preventing Alzheimer's is pointed out in a 2015 article in the Journal of Neurology, Neurosurgery, and Psychiatry. In that article, the authors reviewed 16,906 articles on this topic and found that 4 medications were proven to lower the risk of Alzheimer's disease. Estrogen was first, followed by statins, antihypertensive medications, and non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. So that was like a huge plus for me, and I wanted to think about taking it for myself, aside from the symptoms that I'd been having. Breast cancer, heart disease, stroke don't run in my family. My grandpa on my dad's side, he actually did pass away like in his 50s from a heart attack. But other than him, as far as I know, no one in my immediate family has suffered from heart disease. So none of those things that are typically, cited as being risk factors for taking estrogen run in my family. However, dementia does run in my family. And so not necessarily Alzheimer's, but my grandma on my dad's side had severe dementia for, I'd say, I don't know, maybe for the last year of her life. She had no short-term memory, couldn't remember things that she said to you, 10 seconds after she said them. And my grandma on my mom's side also suffered from dementia as she got older and before she died. And my dad, not severe, I'm not even really positive it was dementia or what, but he was starting to show signs of not dementia necessarily, but like forgetfulness and loss of short-term memory and all of that stuff. So he was starting to show signs of that before he died. So that being said, that really seems to be like, a thing in my family on both sides. So when I'd heard that continuing to have estrogen in your system in these later years, especially during this estrogen window, I thought, you know what? I don't have the risk factors for the side effects that some people do, and that for me personally, the benefits that I will probably gain from using it will outweigh the risks. And of course, that's not everybody. I'm not trying to sway anyone either way, because this is not meant to be like medical advice, obviously. But and every woman has to weigh, her own family history and her own health issues and talk with their doctor and all of that stuff. But I don't know that this is like widely known that you can get these benefits from taking estrogen replacement. And that's the main reason I wanted to make this video, is so that women our age are aware and can at least do their own research. Something I learned in this book too is that if you have had a hysterectomy, you no longer have your uterus, the risks for you from taking estrogen are even lower. Okay, so if you still have your uterus, then you have to take the estrogen and progesterone to prevent the uterine cancer or endometrial or whatever they call it. And so taking that combo is slightly higher than just taking the estrogen alone. But I'm just taking estrogen alone. Even I was just looking last night that even on the Mayo Clinic website, it says that your estrogen window is basically 10 years after you've entered menopause, and that's when you can benefit most from taking estrogen. estrogen. Okay, so if you're the risks of taking estrogen increase dramatically if you're over 60 and if you're already 10 years out past menopause. So that was actually, I guess, part of the big flaw in that big study that came out in the early 2000s that this author mentions, is that the women in the study weren't necessarily, many of them were too old to have the benefits from hormone replacement. So now I have been taking I've been on an estradiol patch for, I don't know, a few months, and gosh, it's made such a huge difference. And I hope that I'm also getting the benefits from it that are going to help me later on as well. So I'm sleeping better. I don't have hot flashes anymore. I don't feel as anxious or sad or moody. Not that that was a huge deal, but it was a little bit. My skin feels better, so it has helped me so much. So I just wanted to make this quick video to talk about that so that you are aware, that this might be an option for you. If you don't have any of the risk factors and you're suffering because you think that estrogen is horrible, and so you're just trying to power through all the symptoms of menopause, just know that you may not have to. You may get some benefit aside from menopause relief, some other health benefits from taking hormone replacement therapy. Okay, so again, it's not for everybody. Some people can't, so talk to your doctor. Consider your risk factors in your family history, weigh the risks versus the benefits of it. But again, I just wanted all women our age to at least be aware of it, to give them a starting point. And I really recommend watching the video series that Dr. Barbara Taylor, she calls herself Menopause Barbie. I have not watched all the videos. I watched the first few in her series, and she recommends that you watch them in order so you're getting all the information. But I really recommend starting there, or maybe even with this book, The Estrogen Window, and seeing whether or not this might be a good option for you. So if you'd like to share your experiences with hormone replacement therapy so that other women can benefit from your perspective, please do so in the comments. I'd love to hear them. To wrap up, I'm Shelly, and the purpose of this channel is to discuss the joys and challenges of midlife, share some stuff I'm learning along the way, and connect with my fellow midlife navigating women. If that sounds like something you'd enjoy, please subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.